I'm kind of surprised in myself at just how viscerally angry. And I don't think anyone besides Trump is more angry about
Is
how
is this over the Fed or over Epstein?
the way that MAGA is reacting to Epstein.
You're angry at the base for being so angry.
Yes, I think this is
Tell us why. Tell us why. And
it's
the White
just
House
it's
may
just
call you after this. Tell us why.
well again like uh I'm just an average voter who just kind
Yeah.
of goes through his life, and like I just I love keeping up with the news, but it's not something I get really passionate and animated about. But I think that for all the reasons that Trump has mentioned, that what all that he has done in the last 3 weeks, starting with bombing the nuclear facility in Iran, to the one big beautiful bill, to the fact that a year ago we were 1 inch away from him being assassinated. And I think that there has to be a sense of the base that you get this is a binary choice. It's either him or it's Kamala. And if you're going to come in here and start attacking and start getting up in arms because of what Pam Bondi did with a bunch of binders, which I agree was probably not very intelligent, was short-sighted. But if we're going to start getting knives out because of something that is and exactly what Brent said, it's not important, it's over. And to have this now taking so much of the oxygen out of the room, when I really question the motivation of some of the folks that are really trying to trumpet this. And I think it's pretty nefarious reasons why they are. And I think we just got to I'm on Trump, just shut him out. And, and so my question is, I got two quick questions. Two is, to me, what's more critically, if there's a conspiracy here that we need to be thinking about and worrying about, we've had two staffers from Biden, his doctor and his wife's chief of staff, plead the fifth as part of the auto pin. And we've had, and as coming out of Rand Paul's government reform or government committee meeting, showing that these pardons were basically that Biden was not aware of a lot of these pardons, including the one for Anthony Fauci. And again, not to editorialize, but I don't know that there's any human being on the face of the earth who's done more to destroy and divide this country than Anthony Fauci. And the fact that guy gives a preemptive pardon, I think, is revolting. And I think those are the things that I think that animate me.
Yeah.
The idea that we're getting animated about something because we think someone may be a Mossad agent,
Yeah.
I find it's just completely back.
Eric, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for you coming on and so articulately speaking for tens of millions, because I know there are tens of millions of people who agree with you. And that point of view is something I've rarely heard, except, of course, from the president himself. But with all due respect, the president, you were more measured and linear than he has been in dealing with this. Mark, do you have any question for Eric you'd like to ask?
Yeah, I guess two. One, Eric, first of all, well, first is the observation. I respect the hell out of you for both saying that you're an average voter and also that you have a realpolitik, we win, they lose mentality. I think that is a tough line to kind of walk down. So that's pretty interesting. But I guess when very curious, when you're in Texas and you're talking with your friends and you create that argument to some who are skeptical or believe that there's more, that there's more and more and more that is yet to be uncovered, what is their reaction to them when you talk to your friends?
No one I talk to, sorry, we talk about Epstein. No one in my circle, no one in my family. All we talk about is how ridiculous this is when it comes up. I think the reason why people are going fanatic about it is because Epstein tweeted, I have information that will lead the Clintons to go to prison, and that just erupts the whole thing. And so I think there's a lot of people who think, well, there are Democrats, there are high there are Democrats or other people, high celebrities who are not, who need to be brought to justice. I can understand that, and I can totally sympathize with the idea that these are victims there are victims here that need to be that need justice. At the same time, we have 300,000 missing children from the border, of which we've only recovered 100,000. Where's the outrage for those missing, for those victims? It's so selective. And I'm afraid that part of it is that because there's this element in the right, which I hate to even give credence to it, but when you have Charlie Kirk at his TPU, his Turning Points convention this last weekend had to say, guys, we got to knock off the Jew hate. That's not a great look, you know? And
Yeah.
so that's what really is getting me, you know, again, I'm just, I don't mean to get animated on the call here, but I do think that the president is 100% justified in telling all these people, go pound sand.
Yeah, the one thing I'd say, and again, Eric, I want to emphasize again, and then ask Brian to comment or ask you a question. Your point of view is extremely important, but I will say, if you talk to Megan, as I did today, or Charlie, or any of these other folks, their inbox is 90-10. This is a vital topic, and it's a vital topic for them, as I say on Next Up in a 30-minute monologue, because it has to do with trust in institutions, trust in government. It's not about Epstein for them so much as it is follow through. So just as they should respect your point of view, I think you got to recognize that I really do believe that the reason Charlie keeps talking about it is not because he wants to. He took a day off after he talked to his friends in the White House. His constituency wants it to be talked about. It's not for clicks and ratings. These are the people who he's connected to, and he feels an obligation to be on what they think is important. So I think both points of view are valid, is all I'm saying. Brian, question or comment for
Yeah, I would only say, I mean, Eric articulated it very well as I think you're obviously a, very devout Trump supporter, and, I respect that. I do think though that it's getting a little.
And my faith. I don't, whoever is president, I'll support. But I mean, yeah, I don't mind supporting President Trump, but I'm not devoted to.
I'm just saying, I think you're representing a view,
Sure.
that it's a majority view, quite frankly, right? I believe you. It is a majority MAGA view right now. But what you're doing right now and what you're seeing right now play out not only in the media, in the Congress, and just on the larger political landscape, is this is the first time that there has actually been in this, in his presidency, this second time, that there's been like a crack in this. So it's to your point, it's getting that much of attention because of that. I see your point about, which even Pelosi agreed with you, she believes it's a distraction on the Epstein piece. You're not going to have some Democrats out there that wouldn't agree with what you're saying. But I'm just saying that, one of the topics tonight, Mark, you said was really going to be Democrats and Epstein. Well, now that you're seeing a crack in the facade of the Trump support, he in one of our two-way community said in the chat down here said, he's not running again. But I will tell you that this entire situation and how it's playing out, and calling part of your base dumb and weakling and all of that, I think you're going to have a lot of play with regards to exactly what people are thinking about, which is the midterms. And, he in the first Trump term, if you remember, in the midterms, he suffered, and I think in this midterm, it's setting up for that as well.
Really interesting. Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip. And you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.